You're tuned into Inside Lowell. Inside Lowell podcast brought to you in part by Washington Savings Bank, serving the greater Lowell community for over 130 years. Make the switch now to Washington Savings Bank.
WellPoint. Unicare is now WellPoint. New name, same commitment to Massachusetts. At WellPoint, your whole health is their whole point.
Boston North Company, offering a wide variety of business solutions to help restaurant and retail clients save money. Boston North. Mahoney Oil Company, providing warmth and protection to families in Greater Lowell and Southern New Hampshire since 1925. That's Mahoney Oil. Francis E. Preventia Insurance. For auto, home, business, and life, trust the agency Greater Lowell has counted on for more than 40 years. Francis E. Preventia Insurance. GoPuff, a grocery store right at your fingertips. Use the code Lowell20 to receive $20 off your first order of $21, plus free delivery. Download the GoPuff app or visit gopuff.com today. And by the Massachusetts Pirates, bringing all the hard-hitting action and excitement of arena football to the Tsongas Center in Lowell. Get your tickets today by visiting masspiratesfootball.com. And now, time for another Inside Lowell podcast. Inside Lowell. If Lowell is your home, this is your place.
Hello again, everybody, and welcome to another Inside Lowell podcast. I am your host, Teddy Panos, coming to you from the WellPoint Studios here in downtown Lowell. Unicare is now WellPoint. New name, same commitment to its members. At WellPoint, your whole health is their whole point. And we thank our friends at WellPoint and all of our sponsors for helping to make this podcast and all of our Inside Lowell podcasts possible. And that includes this podcast here, where we're going to talk to our friends from the Lowell Community Public Charter School. Did I get the words in the right order there? Or
No, you didn't.
Close.
No.
What is the official name of? I should have just looked at your shirt there with the LCCPS.
There you go. Lowell Community Charter Public School.
All right, and we're very excited because if you've been following Inside Lowell, you've noticed on our social media and on our website, we've been talking an awful lot about their third annual Learners to Leaders event, and we're going to use this opportunity to tell you some more about that as well. But first, let me introduce the executive director. He's off to the left of your screen, Nick Leonardos. Hello, Nick. How are you?
Hi, Teddy. Glad to be here.
Great to have you here. Robert Gignac, the COO, Chief Operating Officer, is with us as well. He's a familiar face, name, and voice at this point to folks in the area, right?
Yeah, well, I'm happy to be here, hopefully to talk about the school and not the...
Definitely. No political talk, no
controversy.
No anything. There's a lot to talk about the school, and I do want to focus on the event, obviously. But first, tell me a little bit, for those not familiar with Lowell Community Charter Public School. Tell us a little bit about the school, who your students are, and what's the school all about?
Yeah. So the school's been in existence since 2000. So we've been going strong for 24 years now. We educate 815 students from K1 to 8th grade every year. We have a very dynamic mix of students and families from all over the world, very much reflecting the diversity of Lowell. We have about 95% of our students are non-white, so students come from Southeast Asia, specifically Cambodia, Central Africa, Brazil, and Central and South America. And so we translate everything we send home into Portuguese, Khmer, and Spanish. We have a number of cultural celebrations throughout the year that underscore what our mission is in Lowell, which is to bring the different communities together to support, strong relationships between everybody in the school. And the school's really thriving right now. We're really happy to be bouncing back from the COVID years, and our attendance is up. Our students are doing great. We have a brand new strategic plan that is looking at elevating student voice. And so our students are experiencing school in a whole new way, in many ways this year, that we're excited about. We're looking at some curriculum upgrades for next year as well. And so there's a lot to like about Lowell Community Charter Public School.
It sounds a lot like the city as a whole, the city of Lowell as a whole. What I didn't realize, it's been 20 some odd years that you've been open. And I also didn't realize the student body was that high, over 800 students. How does that compare historically?
So for the school itself, you mean? Yeah. So the school has gone through several iterations, but right now it's at its highest number as far as enrollment goes. We were able to add 15 students, I guess it was about 3 or 4 years ago now, to our charter. And the school at one point in time was a K-6 school, and then we were able to bring 7th and 8th back in about 10 years ago. And so since around 2014, we've been at that 800 or above number.
And for those who aren't familiar with it, because there's a lot of confusion out there about exactly what a charter school is, but it's actually in the name of your school, Lowell Community Charter Public School. They are public schools. These are not private schools, and I'm going to actually let you have this one, Bob, because you have served as a Lowell public school committee member before.
Yeah, so we are truly a public school. So we are governed by the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education, and we go up for a charter renewal every 5 years. We're actually entering that phase next year. And, we are public employees. We're employees of the Commonwealth. What makes us a little different from the traditional district is we have a separate board of trustees. We aren't governed by the Lowell School Committee, and Nick is, in essence, our superintendent of schools. And so we are a public school. We are held to a different level of accountability, where the state could really come in and shut us down at any point in time, where they can't really do that for a traditional district for a specific school. So the state does come in on occasion and take over a district through receivership, but they typically don't go in and shut down a school, which they could in a Commonwealth charter. So a big piece that makes our school really special, and Nick talked quite a bit about it, is our community focus. And so from our board of trustees, which is made up of parents, community members, folks that had children at our school that are no longer students presently, all the way through to our staff and our students. And they reflect both the population of Lowell, but really our effort to ensure that we are cultivating productive citizens through our student body.
So what type of programming do you offer, and how does it differ from what may be a traditional public school, or does it differ?
Yeah, in some ways it doesn't differ much at all, and in other ways there are some differences. So one of the things that we're most proud of the last few years, just to sort of introduce that concept of community and diversity, is that our teaching staff, licensed staff, over the last 6 years, we've quadrupled the number of teachers of color at our school, which is one of our major objectives, because we want to make sure that our kids see themselves in their teacher. And so we're really proud of the fact that we've gone from 7% teachers of color to 26% teachers of color in the last five years. And programmatically, we really, the goal of the school is really to provide a comprehensive education to our students. So if you walked into our school, you would see many of the same types of curriculums and programs that are in use across districts or charters across the country. We strive to give our kids the very best curriculum possible, and so very much in line with many of the districts that are in the area as far as reading curriculum, math curriculum, science and social studies curriculum, very much a comprehensive focus. We offer students a balanced approach to education. We're not a mall sort of approach to education where we focus more on one thing over another. It's very much a balance. So our kids have access to PE, athletics, music, art, all of the arts. And so it really is very much similar to what kids would be exposed to in a typical urban public school system. But of course, we do it really well.
I don't want you to give away your secrets, but you mind if I ask how you've been able to kind of triple or increase fourfold almost your diversity hires in teaching? Because I know that that's been very challenging. And one of the reasons is because even if you go to the educational colleges and universities, they're having a challenge getting a diverse student body, which will naturally is going to translate into hiring. Is there a secret? How have you been able to kind of pull that off?
It's really just about how we're establishing relationships with local communities, local schools and colleges to bring students to us from those organizations. So we're members of different organizations that help us recruit teachers of color that are available to everybody. And we're also able to. The whole culture of the building and the fact that the mission of our school is about that very topic, I think also helps us in recruiting and retaining teachers of color, because it's part of our mission. It's part of what we work on. We do a lot of DEI work, diversity, equity, and inclusion work as a staff, and it's a consistent focus. And so when people come, it's one thing to get people in the door. It's another to keep them. And that's what I think we've done a good job of. We've done a good job with both, but keeping them is the thing that is, I think, more challenging.
You mentioned, I'm sorry, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, just on that same topic. So one of the areas that we implemented a few years ago was an teacher apprenticeship program. And so we identified a number of longtime paraprofessionals or teaching assistants at the school that were really excellent in front of our kids and were missing a college degree or a teacher certification. And so we established a pipeline for them, and we created a teacher apprenticeship program in partnership with JET, which is a Journey into Education and Teaching. And it supports paraprofessionals of color through college and teacher certification process. And then in return, we provide these folks with more hands-on direct teaching experience, working with kids, creating lesson plans, receiving coaching from our instructional coaches, and providing them the well-rounded experience they need to become teachers. And so shortly after launching that, 2 of our longtime paras became fully licensed teachers that have their own classroom. And so we've been able to use that model to grow educators within our building. And these are folks that have been here a while, are committed to our kids and our mission, and we've invested in them, and it's paid off for all parties. And that has certainly contributed to our numbers as far as our teacher diversity, but it also positively impacts the school culture.
Yeah, you've definitely been proactive. I heard you, Nick, talk about gym and athletic opportunities for your students. Having lived downtown for a while, I remember going through walks along the Hamilton Canal area and seeing your kids outside working out. That said, that's tough to do in the winter. So I want to give you guys a chance to tell me a little bit about how you are working to solve that with the creation of a new building.
Yeah, go ahead.
So we're excited about our school building project. And so about 5 years ago now, we looked at some parcels that the school had purchased in 2015 across the street on Middlesex Street. So if you drive down Middlesex Street, you see Mill 5 on the right, you see some vacant parcels on the left. And so the school owns those parcels. And we've really been trying to figure out what to do with them. And so we received a grant to do a feasibility study on what could occur over there. And part of that process was engaging stakeholders on what the needs of our school are. And we determined the need for a gymnasium, an athletic and community center. Right now we have spaces that we call gyms, but they have about 60 poles that are supporting a 200-year-old mill building in them. So, kids are running around, running into the poles, and we don't have a real basketball court. All of our evening athletic programs have to happen off-site, which is not ideal. And then our cultural celebrations, our performances all have to occur either off-site or in small groups. And so that limits our ability to really showcase our kids' talents at the level we want to. And so we did the study. COVID hit, we took a pause because we basically had to start a virtual school from scratch. And then we relaunched the process. And so we engaged with a firm to be our owner's project manager, PCA 360. And then after that process, we selected actually the state selected an architect for us, HMFH Architects. And so we're actually in a very exciting point in that process. We completed the schematic design. And we opted to go forward with a pre-engineered metal building for most of the footprint, which will provide us with a full athletic center, a gymnasium, performing arts area, and then some really great outdoor space that we don't presently have. And so we have about a year of design work left, and we're hoping to break ground actually about a year from now, so April of 25.
And that kind of stuff, the extracurricular opportunities, and not just athletics and sports, but as you mentioned, performing arts and that kind of stuff, that's important to a school culture, a school pride, etc. If all goes well, when do you anticipate cutting the ribbon and actually having events take place in that facility?
Yeah, so the construction will take about 8 months after we break ground. So we're hoping to occupy it by the 26 school year, and maybe sooner.
Basically 2 years from now.
Basically
roughly.
2 years from now. But you know, we're looking at filling it throughout the day with our programming, our after-school programming, but also opening up the doors for community partners. Sure. And so we've already had conversations with various community partners that are at a loss of space presently, bringing them into the fold. And the other piece we're really excited about is the overall impact on the neighborhood. That part of downtown is in desperate need of development. And so if we can put our dollars that we've saved and that we're going to be taking another mortgage out for into investing in the neighborhood that we've been in for 24 years and we plan on being for another 24, working together with the neighborhood to overall improve the quality of life for everyone around there.
We're chatting with Nick Leonardos. He is the executive director of the Lowell Community Charter Public School. Robert Gignac, their chief operating officer. They're here to talk about the third annual Learners to Leaders event. Before I have you give the specifics on that, though, the word leadership is very prominent. Whenever I go to your website, whenever I see your social media posts, that's the, other than the and maybe and, that is the most common word that sticks out. That's obviously a focus, right?
It is, yeah. It's part of our mission statement, and we actually have a curriculum that we've used at the school for over 10 years now called the Leader in Me curriculum. And so it's our social emotional learning curriculum where we teach the 7 habits. It's based on the Stephen Covey book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And there's a full curriculum that's been designed for kids from K to 12 that we use from K to 8. And so we actually teach the discrete skills that go into being a good leader to our students. They set goals, they work towards those goals, they have leadership notebooks where they reflect on their work and learning about the 7 habits. It's really woven into what we do as a school.
You want to have like some adult programming and teach some adults. I could probably use that. But, a lot of people think that success is accidental sometimes or a function of luck. And there is some degree of luck. But if you look at the most successful people out there, those widely regarded, you'll notice there are some common habits, personality traits, lifestyle decisions that they make, right? It's not an accident.
Mm-hmm. No, I totally agree. And I also think it's part of it goes to what is the climate within a charter school, because I think that does contribute to the success that a school can have. And so, for us, just going back to the whole concept of charters, which I think is really undergirding the success that we're able to achieve, we're a one-site school where the key decision makers are on site 24, literally 24/7, And so, there's no lack of accountability. There's no cloud around who's accountable for what. Everybody knows who's responsible for success. And so when those channels are clear and those lines are clear and everyone understands what their role is, what the mission of the school is. It takes a very difficult job and makes it a little easier when those pieces are in place. And that I think is part of the benefit of having a charter school framework for public schools in general. It helps create that clarity that I think large districts especially struggle with when you look at what the work that good educators are doing in any building, no matter what school it is. The charter framework is set up, I think, makes the job a little easier when you have those pieces.
All right, so I'm not sure when our audience is watching or listening to this, but we're recording it on May 1st, which means you are now 2 weeks, 15 days away from your event. Learners to Leaders. Tell me a little bit about the event and kind of what the vibe is of the evening.
Yeah, so we're excited about this event. We started about 3 years ago now, and it really gives us the opportunity to showcase our school and the talents that our kids have, and really the impact on our students. And so it's a social event where it's at Mill 5 at the Overlook. We have raffle prizes. We have tickets available. They're on our website. But it's really an opportunity for members of the community to meet with members of our leadership team, to meet with teachers, with parents, and then you actually get to see our kids perform. You get to see our class president, who is a phenomenal leader, will be a phenomenal leader, tell their story about what LCCPS meant to them in their future. And so, it's there's food catering by Aaron McMahon. There's entertainment not only by our kids but T and the Gents, who's led by one of our amazing parents, Tanisha. And it's not a black tie event. It's just a couple of hours, and it really gives us the opportunity to showcase all the great work that happens in our building each and every day.
And you said tickets are still available on the website, which is?
lccps.org.
Simple enough. Even I can remember that. And sponsorship opportunities. Is there a deadline if any of our local individuals, philanthropists, or businesses want to help out?
Yeah, so the deadline has passed, but we can always...
You'll never say no to a check, though, right?
We'll always make accommodations. So we actually made a goal this year of $25,000 for the event. Last year was 20. We exceeded that. We're at just under 20 as of today, so we're at 19,500. So, the funds raised for at this event are going to support our STEM programming after school, and so we have a tremendous after-school program coordinator that does a great job providing opportunities for kids. And this is an area kids are really excited about being in. And with the loss of ESSER funding, we need to fill that gap. So we're raising some funds to provide these opportunities for our students next year.
All right, awesome. And before I let you go, I saved the best for last because this is a podcast, and you actually have your students, was it 7th and 8th graders, are doing their own podcast. They've created a studio. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, it's called Let the Kids Speak, and it's the result of some great work from one of our 6th grade teachers, Jeff Raymond. And so we're on episode 3 right now. It came out last week. And the kids are doing such an amazing job. They have an executive producer who's one of our 8th graders, and they have a rotating mix of hosts who prepare each show. They've had their teacher was the guest on the first episode. Second episode, the guest was actually one of our consultants who works with our staff on diversity, Chris Finn from Freedom Inc. He joined them via Zoom. And the third one was all about why homework shouldn't exist.
Having to help my son with his, I want to listen to that podcast right there, see if I can convince a couple of teachers. But I have to commend you folks for making that part of the thing, because we always talk about, we should listen to the kids. And, doesn't mean we always will do what they say, but at least if you know where they're coming from, because they are coming from a different place than we are as adults. And we can all relate. We were once there.
And this is part of a big focus for our school for this year and the next 4 years as part of our current strategic plan, which is about elevating student voice. And so part of that too is Robert, myself, and the middle school principal, Eric Nauman. We meet several times a month with the school leadership, the student leadership, to set goals, to work together. The kids are doing a great job.
All righty. One more time, please, the website where people can purchase tickets, learn more about Learners to Leaders.
So visit our website, 𝑳𝒔𝒑𝒐𝒊𝒏𝒆𝒓𝒔. There's a pop-up that shows up on your screen. Click that. Tickets are raffle items. Actually, one of the raffle items is a round of golf with Nick and myself. And then lunch, which we may show up at the Athenian Corner with the lucky winner. Yeah, so visit our website. Join us for this this fun night down at Mill Number 5.
Awesome. Great job. Congratulations to both of you on the work you've done, because I know that school has really increased its visibility in the public eye and in your stature. So congratulations to both of you. Best of luck on the event. Nick Leonardos, Robert Gignac, thanks for joining us here at Inside Lowell.
Thanks for having us.
All right. And thank you for joining us here as well. Hope you enjoyed our latest podcast. Till next time, stay safe, everybody.